So first up, Zinedine Zidane.
Yes, he was watching Lyon versus Tottenham on Thursday night, last night.
And he went specifically to watch Gareth Bale.
According to Marca.
A game in which Bale did nothing for the first time in many games.
Yeah, he scored the previous 6 goals for Tottenham, but last night's late goal, which saw them through to the last 16, was by Moussa Dembele.
In the UEFA Europa League, which just keeps going and going and going and going. But now if you're in the Europa League, you have to play more games in the Europa League than in the Premier League.
Is that so?
I think so, yeah.
Certainly was at a point, wasn't it? Yeah. When Fulham was it? No, did they get to the final?
They did get to the final, but by the time the final came around, everyone had forgotten the competition was going on. Bale is wanted by Real Madrid. That's no secret.
Constantly linked with them, constantly on the front pages. And so this was the story that Zidane was there, now working for Madrid, to watch Bale, but it wasn't his greatest night in comparison with his astounding performances of late.
So we can imagine that Madrid have dropped all their interest in Gareth Bale now.
Good news, Tottenham fans.
It's possible that they're looking at Bale as a possible replacement for Ángel Di María, the inconsistent Argentinian winger.
Yeah, flashes of brilliance, flashes of nothing. He's been offered to European clubs this week.
He's been offered around, yeah. Offered to Man United. Perhaps he's been offered around to European clubs to try and tempt people to spend a small amount of money on him, and render it impossible for them to go the extra mile and spend a large amount of money on his the other wing man at Madrid.
Who's that?
That's Ronaldo.
Oh, that's right, Ronaldo. And any other Spanish players linked with Manchester clubs this week?
Nicely done. Jesus Navas regurgitated by the Spanish press an article that they picked up from Britain's Daily Star, a reputed rag. Apparently, Jesus Navas is wanted by Manchester City. This is a seriously flawed story for anyone that knows Jesus Navas's past.
And if you don't know his past, you're about to find out.
Jesus Navas, ironically, for being of gypsy stock, is unable to leave Madrid.
You can tell by his eyes, can't you? Gypsy stock.
He's fixated on his home city of Madrid, and he's psychologically unable to leave.
The home city of where?
Seville. He's unable to leave Seville. He has managed over the last few seasons to start playing in away games for Seville, and he also managed to make it to the last World Cup, didn't he?
Despite previously retiring from international football because he couldn't go away from Seville for that long.
He couldn't leave Seville.
And there was that story of when Juande Ramos, the great ex-Tottenham Hotspur manager, tried to get him to come to Tottenham. And
Juande Ramos proposed a deal with Seville in which Navas would sign for Spurs, train with Seville throughout the week.
In Seville,
and then be flown out to Manchester,
to Tottenham,
and then be flown out to London to play for Tottenham on the weekend.
It would be a better story if he was a Madrid player going to Manchester, wouldn't it? As you're trying to obviously make out, or as it is in your head.
Why would it be a better story?
Well, it's bigger clubs, isn't it, than Seville and Tottenham?
Yeah, it is. I mean, Seville and Tottenham, they're the equivalent. Seville is the Tottenham of southern Spain.
Yeah.
So it's starting again. The idea was that Navas would train with Seville during the week, and then presumably B.A. Baracus style, be poisoned and put on a plane, taken to Tottenham to play at the weekend, and then without having notice be put back on a plane and arrive safely back in Seville on a Sunday evening, none the wiser. This was a deal that Juande Ramos had proposed.
What a precedent that could have set.
That could have set a precedent. That was almost like the Anchi.
Yeah.
The Anchi, whatever their unpronounceable Chechen side are.
Just call them Anchi.
Anchi, yeah. That all their players have to train in Moscow and then they fly out.
It's amazing that, isn't it? But at least they're together. I mean, if you've got one person doing that, he's not going to have any sort of rapport with his teammates. It sounds a bit odd, but anyway, he couldn't even manage that. That's how little there is in the story of him going to. I've even forgotten now. Manchester City.
Yeah. As I mentioned, being a winger, I don't think having any rapport with his teammates matters at all. In fact, in the case of Ronaldo, it seems to be a distinct advantage.
This is true. This is true. But he's getting on now as well. He's been a Seville player since, I think, 2003, is it? 10 years?
10 years.
Why would he now leave now after all that time?
No.
When he's like that.
But lovely eyes.
Lovely, lovely eyes.
Lovely man. Finally, today.
Yes, well, this is probably the biggest story of the week.
Big story. Interpret it how you want. We certainly have.
Maradona is going to be the next Barcelona coach.
Yep, Diego Maradona as well. He's thrown his hat into the ring, hasn't he?
Certainly, yeah.
He's thrown his hat. The story vaguely represented on Marca, was it?
It was Marca, yeah. It's a featured story on Marca.
Featured
story
story
today, actually, or maybe yesterday.
Breaking news, yeah. Hold the front page. Maradona says that he would love to manage Messi again.
And of course, as we know, Messi will never go anywhere else in Europe other than Barca. So he's either implying that when he comes back to Argentina, he wants to be the manager of that team, or he wants to be the Argentina manager again, or he wants to manage Barcelona.
Yeah, we don't think he's going to be the Argentina manager again.
I don't think many do.
No, I doubt he does. So he probably... We can only interpret from this story that Marca are insinuating that he's going... Off the back of Barcelona's defeat to Milan in Italy in the week, that Maradona's going to return to the new camp to save Barcelona's fortunes, and I'm sure Johan Cruyff wouldn't have it any other way.
And that is your roundup for this week. Next week you'll be a lot more proficient. Stay tuned. We forgot the best story. That Michael Laudrup.
I didn't forget the best story.
Well, we forgot to record it. I'll record it now. Michael Laudrup has been touted for the Real Madrid post. Obviously, there's been lots of speculation this season that Mourinho's going to leave. And there's a lot of interest in Laudrup at the moment, with Swansea playing the League Cup final on Sunday against Bradford.
Mm-hmm.
And he was asked a few times by Spanish reporters in his press conference leading up to it about the possibility of managing Madrid next, and he wouldn't confirm or deny.
But he did say that now isn't the time.
Of course.
Now isn't the time. Which Marca reported, typically of Marca, saying that Laudrup says Madrid, now is not the time, suggesting that he's saying now is not the time to move to Madrid. Whereas in reality, I understand that in the press conference, Laudrup actually said, now is not the time to ask me questions about going to Real Madrid. I've got an important cup final coming up this Saturday, albeit against Bradford.
It's not very fair, is it?
It's the least appetising cup final I've heard of for a long time.
Yeah, well, last year, Cardiff, Liverpool, was it?
That was alright. The year before was particularly good, I remember.
What, Birmingham City beating Arsenal?
Birmingham beating Arsenal. It was a good day for all of us, Birmingham City fans and Spurs fans alike.
It was indeed, I remember it well.
Thank you. My particular
I'm
favourite...
actually quite looking forward to the League Cup final on Sunday.
I'm not. But it's just a reminder that was two years ago since Birmingham City's greatest day, and then it's just been downhill ever since. You know, owner in prison, terrible manager, lingering the bottom reaches of the Championship. But it also
ruining one of the best young goalkeepers in the country.
Ruining one of the best goalkeepers in the country. Yeah, losing the current England goalkeeper to Man City. That probably happened before, actually. But yeah, I know to the Albion as well. We lost Foster to the Albion. But it also brings back the painful memory of Birmingham City's under Alex McLeish, very famously a team built on a solid work ethic and a spirit of togetherness, which was somewhat undermined by Obefemi Martin's interview after the Coca-Cola Cup final, where I don't think it was a slip of the tongue when he said, "I won the cup. I won the cup," he said. "I won the cup." Where really, we all know it was Laurent Koscielny that won the cup.
Who you've continued to back ever since then.
I think he's a great player.
Yeah, he does look good. Anyway, so the story is that they would like Laudrup